Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
Hit the block with the make a couple grand seven on its wave like a boat club. I don't have patience, so I don't deal with no scrubs. Gray picture, treat the inches like a tour bus. Pixel best 7 music god, it's a cold crush. I'm a nightmare, you can ask my haters.
What's up, everybody? It's Heat Override, and I'm ready to bring the pain for you and Dr. Roto this week. Ooh, yeah! What a crazy day. Happy Mother's Day to everybody out there that's a mother. Of course, this is being recorded on Mother's Day, so if you listen to this not on Mother's Day, then at least you understand why it is. But let's get right to it. Let's bring the pain for another Heat-tastic review. Ooh, yeah. That song was Nightmare by Peso Best Ever. Go check him out on Audio Mac. But let's get to it. Man, the day started out, I went 5 out of 6 on my MLB article at Dr. Roto only. And of course, that I had 2 parlays, put them together, and just because Nolan Arenado wanted to take the day off on an RBI, no RBIs for him, could have had a plus 2563 odds hit, man. But hey, it happened. So went into the UFC card, of course, Muhammed versus Della Maddalena, and I had some extra cash, so I decided to throw it down. DFS-wise on FanDuel, I'll say 50-50s hit. Nothing really big hit. I had a couple losses or just things that just didn't come up. Lee losing by decision, of course, wasn't the best, but I mean, honestly, I'm just going to say it right now. Brad Katona getting waxed fast in the first round, literally destroyed. He was in about 60% of my lineup, so that wiped them out. And then, of course, you know, the way things went. But we'll get to that in a second here. So on DK, of course, DK, I was able to have 2 lineups out of 4 went above 25% payout. So that would have been good for a triple up and everything like that. The double ups did hit. The other 2 lineups did not do well. Seemed like on FanDuel, your pay line was around 540, 550, depending on your contest, maybe a 530. I was around the 500, 525 mark. So, of course, on the bigger ones that only pay out in the top 20, 21 to 24%. Of course, I missed on those, but that's where the 50-50s come in. All in all, though, betting-wise, it went okay. Nothing big like last week. No 2,300, no 2,600 knockouts. All the knockouts I got, though, and submissions I got were all like 750, 450, 100. Because I got to say, I'll give you hands out to FanDuel and DraftKings. You guys did have some really hard props bets on this pay-per-view. So that being said, hey, you're not going to win every week, but we did do well. We did okay. We lived to play another week. Overall, my picks, it was more of a money line week. I went 8-4, not bad, back up from the 6-6 from, the previous week, but 8-4 this week. Overall, on the show, Dan went 5-4. I went 6-3. That's for the Fight Club of Pain. Now, I gotta say, thanks to everybody that stopped through, found us. We had some new people come through. Didn't even know that somebody was doing a live DFS show on the Dr. Roto Network or any network. Honestly, I will say this. We are one of the few DFS shows and betting shows that go live and give you everything. Everybody's mostly recorded. Some shows do go live on YouTube. So no disrespect. I'm not talking about that. I don't see anything on the X like we do. So we're on YouTube, X, and of course the Facebook at Dr. Roto on the Dr. Roto Network. That's where you can catch us. Normally we go live Thursday. This Thursday, we will be covering UFC Vegas 106, Burns versus Morales. So this should be another fun one. A lot more tape for me to get into and get. But hey, let's go over my picks real quick. Of course, I picked Katona. I did say Bekzat, you have to have the knockout prop because we brought up on the Fight Club that his 10-inch reach was going to be a problem. It became a problem really fast, but that wasn't really a reach thing. It was kind of like both fighters were off kilter at that point, and he just happened to get that really good hit. Boom, ref stopped it real fast. Jiyoung Lee did okay. He lost by that decision. Again, that didn't work out too well for us. That was a loss. So started off the pay-per-view with 2 straight losses. And then, of course, Marc-André Barriault beat Bruno Silva. Got that. Had that one right there. But again, this was a little more predictable. So again, not so many big hits from the 2000s. I think the biggest one I hit was a 900. And that really just ended up paying out for a lot of the fights that ended up going the distance that I didn't see going the distance. And I'll just say that is on me. That is on me. And but again, I'm trying to nail something. We don't know what's going to happen. Again, going back to last week with Figueiredo, we didn't know his knee was going to snap. So even though I played the under 4.5, that still was one of those things that you just don't see happening, or someone slipping, or what happened to one of the fighters going up. So, of course, this is where I started winning. I thought Navajo Sterling would be able to not only knock out Urslan, which I did have the Ivan Urslan knockout prop as well. I had both as a knockout prop. I didn't think it was going to go to the distance. I thought really that one of these fighters was going to go under. The negatives were on the under, and that's just, we took it, we played it. But he did win, so that was good again. And then Modesta Bukauskas versus Cutelaba. I got to say, even though Cutelaba is a punk sometimes, and he started out that match by going to the middle of the ring and saying stuff, he was in there. I almost thought Bukauskas wasn't going to win, but he did enough damage to Cutelaba to beat him. And again, that was one of those calls that we were looking at. And then Jessica Andrade got smoked by Jazuda Vicious. Jasmine just smoked her. Of course, we did have that as a sub, and that went down. And then we got over to Mike Malott. Mike Malott, of course, he ended up winning. But I had and this is where I took some of that extra money. I threw in some money on Charles Radke with the knockout. Radke did look good. And then right at the beginning of that second round, boop, done. You're out. So at this point, I'm 5-2 with my picks. That's awesome. Then we get the Benoit Saint Denis. I had the knockout prop, the knockout with the submission. I suggested the submission, suggested the knockout. What happened was the submission. The submission was actually a lot lower ranked than the knockout. So unfortunately, we only got a little bit of money off of that. So, but we still got the win. We got the under 2.5, and that's what we needed. Natalia Silva, I have no disrespect for Alexa Grasso after that fight. She tried everything, blitzing, jabs, everything, trying to catch Natalia Silva, and she could not. Silva was in another zone. She just was moving side, moving left, doing the screaming. Ha, ha, ha. I do it too. I'm a point fighter. It's the way it does. I didn't start out doing it, but I do it now. Make sure that it's just that extra power. Believe me, we know. Some of us that know, it's just comfortable now. And that's how it goes. So we're at 72 now. Of course, that one with decision. I didn't mind that. But then we saw Jose Aldo get screwed. Now, I know that Jose Aldo was winning 2 3/4 round. Okay, 2.5 rounds. Let's call it 2.5 rounds. Literally dominating, having the head movement. He's going in, he's punching, he's coming in and out. We're getting it done, right? We're about to see this knockout that I kept talking. He even got him. I don't even know how dude lived. Zahabi. The dude got kicked, and then he just got run over, kicked, and just nothing. Nothing. So, well, at the end, Zahabi gets the win because he bloodied Aldo after he kind of just, there was a bad exchange. Aldo fell on his back. He jumped on top. He got the blood, and that was enough for the judges to call it his way. I mean, come on, judges. That was a little wrong. He got outboxed and outclassed that entire fight. But, hey, that's the loss, 7-3. And that hurt a lot of my DFS lineups because I had Aldo in probably at least 70% of them. But he doesn't just get the most points. Yeah, he got a lot of points. I think he had like 55 or something. But that just wasn't enough. That wasn't enough. So, of course, we get to the co-main event. Valentina Shevchenko versus Manon Fiorot. And, again, this was another one of those fights that I said that I just felt, the underdog at the time was Shevs, and she performed beautifully. But a lot of people said that Fiorot was screwed. Where? Yeah, she got some bigger punches, but she never dictated that match. And that's the thing, is that sometimes a lot of people think that just because I'm a point fighter, that things are just going to be happening and you don't understand. No. Point fighting, you dictate your match. And when we do continuous point fighting, you have to dictate the match for when the points are out the door on that one. So again, comes back to fight theory as a fighter, being a fighter, and then being able to supply you with all of that. And then, of course, Dan's amazing knowledge. Then we got the Belal Muhammad versus Jack Della Maddalena. Maddalena won. That put me at 8-4 overall for the entire weekend. So that's cool. So everything's going good. Miss some, win some, and, you know, get a little bit of money. Definitely would love to have more, but I call this one of those where we just kind of treaded our mud in there. So for me, that's one of those things that I'm not going to, sorry about that. I don't even know how that started. So for me, that's going to be one of those things that kind of work out there. As for the Five-tastic Picks, of course, St. Denis hit under 2.5. Silva, I had the fight going over 2.5, but I did have some crazy props at drroto.com when I did my Five-tastic Picks. I was trying to throw in some bets and some bet lines, some craziness, trying to suggest stuff so that if you missed the Fight Club of Pain, or you, like the last one was an hour and 40 minutes and you just couldn't catch the whole thing and you didn't get every bets, I felt like I really needed to get some bets in there for all of you. So I hope that really worked out. I know that some of those bets may have missed, not the submissions. The submissions in the right places work. Lee losing though, man, and that just being that sucked. But you know, I said he was going to be great for DFS, and that his price was criminal. He had a great price. He was really mid-range. You know, Bukakis was down there at mid-range too. So, you know, those were two were a real staple. And then Katona as well too. Just getting him. And then Shevchenko was super cheap on the DFS slates. So I was literally rolling those four. And because I had those four, the win, lose, or draw, just because I had the two losses, unfortunately, shaped in why I did not score in the top 20, 21, 25% on some of those other lineups, and you only took 50-50 cash, which was fine. Sterling, I thought that was going under. I missed that completely, but he still won. Again, the picks are there. The money lines are there. And then, of course, Muhammad, I got it right, going over 4.5. I had either fight. I had a crazy Muhammad third round submission, but he actually tried to box with Jack. And Jack he didn't outclass him. I got to say, that's the best striking I've ever seen from Muhammad, right? And for me to say that, you know, it's what I've seen. And then he finally tried to like shoot at the end, but I think he was just too tired, or it just didn't work out for him. He did get him on the ground a couple times, which I don't understand. I do feel that Jack didn't do enough, even though he kind of outclassed him on the feet, but Muhammad was able to land a lot of body kicks. He kept hitting that body kick. And for me, that was points just racking up. But they gave it to Della Maddalena because they want Muhammad to do stuff. They want Islam to come up. They want something. So whatever it is, whatever happened, doesn't matter anyway. JDM got the championship. Definitely might be making my top 10 because Muhammad, after that, you're strong. It was a strong performance. But again, you went to close with wrestling and you didn't really get a good grip. And I think that's everybody's gripe with you, Belal, that sometimes you come off boring. But hey, I'll remember the name because I think you're a great fighter. I love the improvements that you fight. I love your commitment and your dedication to the game. And I definitely got to slay that down. So, you know, a good week. I was really excited to see all these people asking us questions during that live. That's what me and Dan want. We want to help you make those right decisions. Hopefully we were able to help a lot of people and get a lot, because we picked a lot of fights. I mean, 9 out of the 12 fights, that's a lot. So overall, I thought it was a good one. We'll have Burns and Morales. Once I get that, I'm gonna go make the write-up right after this. So just stay tuned. It's already happened. The Fight Club of Pain's ready, right? And you get your Thursday shows and join Dr. Roto. Baseball's hitting. I gotta say my bets for today didn't do overly well. I did have I was in the right place, but it just didn't end up working out for me with those. Yeah, just with the couple teams that I stacked. I stacked Atlanta. They didn't do too well. Yeah, just a low score. So again, it's what happens. But hey, I had fun doing it. I had fun being able to, start out the week really hot with the baseball articles, bringing in with, 50-50 night pretty much with the UFC. Just build the bankroll, keep the bankroll, throw some money down today. We'll see where we're at after the 7 o'clock single game entry goes, single game parlay. And we'll just start the week off with some money, right? We're halfway through May. Again, in 2 weeks, not this week, so you won't be affected. In 2 weeks, I will be going to we have a tournament in Erie. So I will be not only working it, but I will also be fighting in it. So I will be, it's going to be hard to get a hold of us then, but definitely you can catch us. My articles will be at Dr. Roto and Dr. Roto MSN, and also the Fight Club of Pain, both Thursdays. I also use some IDP work because of the UFC and because of how much time and dedication it's taken me to put into the UFC. I've kind of put football on the side burner, but since now that we've had the draft and everything like that, it's time to get into the IDP. My rankings will be coming out within the next month at Dr. Roto only. And also, when you flip back to it, you're going to get, I never did my IDP awards from last year. I don't think it's really needed, but definitely we're going to get some IDP talk. We're going to get some things going. We're going to get some football talk, right? All right, everybody, have a great day. And always remember to bring the pain. Ooh, yeah.
I'm a nightmare, you can ask my haters. I'm a nightmare, you can keep the favorite. I'm a nightmare, there is no debate. I'm a nightmare, I should gotta say. I'm a nightmare.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.